Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club. In the 17 years that I've been reviewing games, I do believe this is the very first Peanuts game that I've ever done. Which is crazy because Snoopy's Grand Adventure came out for the Wii U, and I just never did it. And I was starved for games to play. I just have no idea why I never reviewed it. When I was growing up, I watched a few of the Peanuts movies and specials. The Christmas one was a classic, and I remember one with them racing down a river. I remember I stopped watching it after a movie where he was reading War and Peace. And I remember my childhood self thinking, wow, this is really boring. Which brings me to a question that just keeps coming up in my mind. And I'm sure I'm going to get some angry comments about it in this video. But here it is. Are the Peanuts comics supposed to be funny? We're going to get into it, but you can collect comic strips to read as bonus collectibles. But they were just not funny. You would think they would have stacked it with the most amusing panels. But no, it's about as interesting as reading your electric toothbrush's manual on proper cleaning. I think the comic panels are supposed to be a look into the world of these kids and the adventures they go on. And they're supposed to have entertainment in that. But if that was it, I would say it just doesn't hold up. Now in this game, there are 4 mysteries to solve. They were all very simple. I will say they actually started to get more interesting in the 3rd and 4th case. But only slightly. The 3rd case has you exploring a theater looking for a ghost, and the 4th case takes you to a completely new area for you to explore. I wish they did this for every case. And while they technically did, they constantly went back to the main world to do boring random tasks. The 4th case was the best because with the exception of the beginning of it, it had all completely new places to explore. Now this has you exploring a fairly big open world. It's a recreation of the town the Peanut characters live in. Snoopy will be solving mysteries that you come across, like why do kites keep disappearing? Or where is Peppermint Patty's uniform gone? It's about as thrilling as it sounds. Most of the time you're going to be doing fetch quests for people who would rather you do things for them than actually help you. Every single person in this game will block you until you do their bidding. It actually dragged down the gameplay so much that you might forget about the mystery that you're investigating. There was just so many distractions or demands from people, it was crazy. This is the main problem of the game. There's just so much padding in it. The mysteries will always take a back seat to the needs of your friends, who will never help you until you do something for them. And it was very frustrating, especially when the quest just had you going from one side of the map to the other. There were fast travel points, but you would have to slowly walk there, even at running speed. You play as Snoopy, who joins up with the other Peanuts characters to solve mysteries. The only problem is they can't actually hear him, but that doesn't stop him from helping them. The whole game is fully voiced with the exception of Snoopy and Woodstock. And it does make sense with the world. I mean, they're a dog and a bird. This might be frustrating for young children who might not understand what Snoopy and Woodstock are saying if they can't read it. Snoopy has a few costumes that they can change into, and they'll do different things. The main one is a detective costume, which depending on the investigation tool you activate, will either look for footprints or tell you all the interactable objects in the area. There is also a digging costume, one that has a metal detector. There's also one with a leaf blower, as well as another one which would make plants part out of your way. I'm not sure what power that is, but Snoopy has it. The other Peanuts characters will tag along, and they do basically nothing, other than having conversations with each other. They will have simple minigames which always felt tacked on, but they worked fine. Each of the characters would have a different minigame. One would have a memory game, another one would have kick a ball, throw a baseball, Simon Says, and a rhythm game. They would get harder as the chapters would go on, but they were never difficult. Even the hardest one, which was a rhythm game, which would let you make plenty of mistakes without saying you failed the game, which was a smart move for the audience what they were going for. If you enjoy the minigames, you can play them with different difficulty settings after you beat the game in the main menu. Now the minigames will earn you lollipops, which you can use to redo a mystery wrap-up. At the end of the chapter, you go to Charlie Brown's sister Sally and tell her about all the clues that you found, and you pick 4 of them and link them together. She will tell you which ones were right. You get 3 free chances, and if you need more, it's going to cost those lollipops. But honestly, the 3 free chances is more than enough, especially when they clearly show you which ones you got right and wrong. I really never needed to spend my lollipops. The world has collectibles like marbles you could use to buy different costume changes for Snoopy, which really only changed his appearance of him, with no additional benefits, as well as 8 birds which are hidden around the map, but they are actually required for the final chapter, and I would actually suggest you get them ahead of time. It actually speeds up the final chapter, and avoids you having to walk around the map finding them all. In the final chapter, they give you hints on where they are, so it's not a blind search if you want to wait. There are also comic strips to find, and if you find the Peanut strips interesting, this will be a plus for you. You get to see the ones that were published in the Sunday papers, because those are always the ones in color. Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club was kind of dull at times. When you're dealing with the actual mystery, it was somewhat interesting, but then it gets into the endless fetch quests, which really dragged down the story. I liked the final chapter because it changed things up and focused more on the actual mystery. Now this is normally $39.99, and I would wait for a very deep sale if you're interested in this. I like the animations on the characters, and overall I think the world looked great. But the tedious fetch quests really drag down the gameplay in this. And if you're a fan of Snoopy or any of the other Peanuts characters, I would really wait for a deep sale if you're going to pick this up.